the 5 for the Cavaliers. Last, Jackson will sail in. These will be his first points tonight.
The defensive end.
That's what I'm saying.
To Toby. Rebound by Shaq Goodwin.
Got to string together some stops. Then the offense might take.
I like it.
That's Joe Jackson. As a freshman going against these terrific guards in Memphis.
Wow.
But every time they're finding players and squeezing inside Anthony Gill, who is 4 of 4, and he's got 9.
Follow up his game. T-minus 17 points on Friday versus Coastal Carolina. He is just rolling offensively for Virginia.
11 minutes to play. Dixon. Joe Jackson, highly decorated player. Crawford goes to Goodwin. Back on top. Crawford another 3. Goodwin fighting for the ball. Got it. Jackson slithers and tries.
Will give up.
Crawford coming the other way. Aaron Johnson. Joe Jackson. Indiana will come out on him.
Look inside at the free throw line if you want to break this zone.
It's a 3.
And you're only down 5.
Right.
With 20 to play.
The defense is not bad. Memphis only shooting 35%.
Jackson. Johnson. Goodwin a screen. Crawford on the side. Nichols down low. That's the Memphis 5 to start the second half. It's a Jackson long deuce.
And scores with his left.
Armwood's got 12. Larson's got 14. 2 high scores for George Washington. No one in double figures yet for the Tigers. Nichols, Jackson, the pump faking into Larson. Oh, diving, hitting the deck.
Athletic conference. He comes off the bench with a lot of energy.
Crawford just tore it away. Jackson, past McDonald. Garino, Armwood, McDonald, a long 2. Tapping Larson, try no. Crawford have numbers. Jackson to the rack with a great slide.
Depends on the guy, doesn't it? Because a lot of guys can play with fouls. And they can stay away from making dumb mistakes. Jackson with the theft. Napier staying with him on his hip, but he'll lay it in.
Transition teams in the country.
Well, they are, in fact. And those are the 2 areas. Nice job by Boatwright to get by again.
Here's Goodwin coming out of the pack with it. Off to the point guard, Jackson for 2.
58-63. They win at home 51-45.
On the drive, Jackson again in for 2. Cincinnati Bearcats, the #1 seed. That should be a dandy tomorrow night. We'll have it for you. And before that, it's Houston and Louisville. We'll see if Houston can pull off another big upset. That would be the shocker of shockers, especially the way the Cardinals. They're getting a ton of those. Kennedy gives it up. Corner jumper on the way, and that won't fall. Frazier on target. Jackson trying to penetrate. He's lightning quick, and he made it. He made the shot. Just off Beale Street.
That's a good point.
Williams airmailed it. Johnson gives it up. Jackson on the baseline denied. Jackson's open. Drains the 3. The caliber of play has picked up markedly since the first half.
Well, the turnover numbers have been significantly lower here through the first 4.
That's a lot prettier. No question about that. Jackson with a jumper. He sticks it. Marcus Kennedy, the best rebounder at 6'9", with an offensive board.
You can see how he would be problematic for a lot of teams, but he's been especially problematic for Memphis.
He's just about an impossible matchup for them. Dixon got airborne. Here's Jackson. Is he starting to heat up? Yes, he is. He sticks a 3. This is the largest lead of the day for Memphis in another theft. Now a 2-on-1. Jackson makes it.
Will you take another?
To Kennedy in close for 2.
Good punch inside. Just a 2-possession game now.
Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech coming up next. It's Jackson in the lane. And made it. He'll go to the line.
When you're getting to the rim and getting easy baskets, that's not the shot they needed there. That did a favor for Memphis.
Turned over, Goodwin has it. Slick bounce for Jackson. Had to adjust and he laid it in. And now a timeout. So turned it over only 2 times in 38 possessions.
Really, I think Mick Cronin had to go into halftime saying that was an opportunity missed. They did some really good things, but you got to feel like Cincinnati should have been up a lot more going into halftime. And Memphis has a terrific opportunity to get the first score of the second half and put themselves in an even better position to make this competitive.
With Johnson in the corner, up top for Jackson. Remember, Dixon Jr. hit that big three right before the end of the half. We'll see if that carries over for Memphis here in the second half. Trying to get a shot in the air. Shot clock down to 4 and up and in by Jackson.
Protect the lane, protect the rim. I think are in a better position to do well in this year's NCAA tournament.
Here's Joe Jackson looking to penetrate, drives it hard, and banks it in.
Talk about playing.
Mason. He's having a lot of fun tonight. Jackson through the lane will lay that in.
How did he get that?
Hard to believe they've been struggling to score in recent games, but they actually have.
Yeah, so much for the struggling to score narrative.
Jackson straight on. That final shot for Memphis.
That 5 overtime game at Notre Dame, and then just Pitino challenged his team to finish on a 7-0 run. They did, went through the tournament and won every game from then on out.
16-game win streak last year to close out the season. Right now, they've won 7 in a row as we flip the calendar to March. Russ Smith said, does this feel like, well, he was asked, does this feel like last year? And he said, not yet. Different team, top finish from Jackson. But they're getting better, Mike.
A moment ago, but now Tayshaun Thomas cleaning up the offensive glass, and the Cougars take a 1-point lead.
Memphis got to do a better job on the weak side. That's 2 air balls that Tayshaun Thomas has rebounded. You can have an effect on the game without shooting the ball, and that's what L.J. Rose does with his size and his ability to handle the ball and his ability to pass.
6 points for Chicken Knowles. And Houston back to a 7-point lead. And now a try to with Pepper, DeCozy, and Cummings.
It's actually a fairly balanced team, which makes it a little more difficult to prepare for it because you've got guys that are all willing to take shots and create for themselves and fill in. You know, when Will Cummings is driving, you better believe Dalton Pepper's relocating on the 3-point line, looking for his shot.
Goodwin back to Jackson, who goes bodying into Devontae Watson. The 200. Then we're a lock for the tournament. We don't have to worry about it after this stretch. I thought that was a very interesting way to look at it and a nice coaching way to look at it to try to get your guys going. Joe Jackson trying to get going. There's his Jackson hesitation and he's very smooth. Crowd alive on Beal. Jackson, nobody picked him up, so he hits a 2. Pulls up, off the heel. Nichols grabs the rebound, his 11th of the game. Jackson on the push. The step through, the lay-in, and the lead for Memphis.
Swine. Seagear's running. Bad pass through traffic. Broken up Dixon. Run out Joe Jackson. This time he'll lay it in. Get themselves in good position for a high seed, the upcoming American tournament on their home floor, the FedEx Forum. Jack, way short.
Not a good shot. Got to go to J.J. Moore, leading scorer for the Scotland. Get him the ball. They don't have a pure point guard, Dave.
Jackson pulls up. Pete, and a nice Kadeem Jack. Half a dozen for Kadeem. Redshirt junior forward and a team captain here at Rutgers.
Hanging around. The longer it goes, Dave, the more the chances of the Knights finishing strong. Anything can happen. I like this. A little zone now.
Crawford, nifty pass for Johnson. Ball movement. Jackson pulls up from the elbow. Joe Jackson.
A lot of screen and pop. And hit the boards nicely. Chroma, a rare turnover on his drive. Jackson did a nice job with his a lot. There's one thing he does also. Solid defense. It's the second time now. He's been a terrific help guy. Jackson quickly. Sometimes you go down without contact because you're expecting contact. He seems to be no worse for the wear. Jackson slashes down the lane. UConn on the perimeter. Boatwright for 3. Didn't get the roll. Bryma couldn't keep it alive. Johnson again to Jackson who flash. Boatwright was open, passed on into the lane, tries to reverse. Excellent interior defense. Everybody stood their ground. Jackson, good head fake. Jackson.
Look at Jackson. How tall is he?
Niels Gaffat, a little floater, short. Almost saved it. Jackson drives into traffic and lays it in.
Memphis has to continue what's kept them close. Fast break points outscoring UConn 20-9. On the other end, they have to cut down on the turnovers. 17 Memphis turnovers, 19 UConn points.
Jackson just slapped.
Now Memphis doesn't have the luxury of Jaren Johnson's size pushing the ball up the floor. But they do have the quickness of Johnson and the niftiness with the ball of Joe Jackson.
Jackson looking for that screen, pull-up jumper, got it.
It mattered.
Jackson was trying to lead into one to draw a foul. Jackson got the rebound, made the...
David Pelham is checked in for the Tigers. So is Michael Dixon Jr., who was tremendous down the stretch in that win against Gonzaga Saturday. Jackson finds a crease and takes it all the way. Great move on raring to go, attacking the lane, and Stephon Blair throwing his big body around. Josh Pastner said before the game, look, this is a team that really has nothing to lose we're playing against.
Baskets, they've settled down again and been very aggressive at the rim.
Coast to coast, Joe Jackson. Watch ESPN Arizona, the best two-point percentage defense in the country. They've been great defensively in the paint.
Well, Herb Sendek's teams have always been very good, and they got blown out in Tucson, so expect a little better contest on Friday for sure, because Arizona State's playing much better basketball.
First road game for Arizona without Brandon Ashley since that loss to Cal. Nice passing to Jackson, who buries it.
Looked like he was going to hit the back bottom of the rim.
Offensive rebound, Memphis. Jackson on the attack.
Twice, don't settle for the first side of the floor. And that's what Memphis has been doing, settling. Stockton, whose dad, of course, the Hall of Famer John Stockton. David knocks it away again. He may not be his dad, but he's got good hands, and he's moving up the Gonzaga steals chart himself. Tough layup and a much-needed back.
It's a simple screen, roll, and replace into a high-low. That couldn't have been easier, and there was absolutely no pressure on Sam Dower when he made that pass underneath the Karnowski.
Jackson got it. And
second turnover early in the game for Rutgers.
Tigers are looking inside.
Jackson.
In terms of regular season basketball games, that's about as good as it can possibly get.
I'm envious, Gary. I'm a Syracuse alum. You might know that. Pete knows it very well. What a win for the Orange on Saturday. How long did that take us, Pete?
Dave, it took too long. Now you might get fined. It took 6 minutes to get it. Syracuse mentioned in our broadcast. You're a great American, and you love to push that.
Should we correct that to top ranks for Rutgers belong to Kadeem Jack? All five.
Yeah. Rutgers does not have, Dave, an inside scorer that can stop the bleeding. You know, a guy who get fouled, a post guy, you know, like a Shaq Goodwin. So that's a problem. They got to hit outside shots.
Dixon Jr. transfer from Missouri. Kick out for Joe Jackson. It's a great fit for Rutgers.
It is. You can't get a better guy. I mean, he's a wonderful man, coaching the NBA. He was a great player for the Scarlet Knights. Led them to the Final Four in 1976, as we mentioned before. He's going to do a fabulous job there.
Some numbers, a 3-on-1. Mack, baseline, got caught up, nowhere to go with it. Jackson takes it right back. This is the Memphis game. They love it. The run and gun finish. Doing all time for Memphis. Under 10 to shoot this time. Woodson spins way short. Wilson grabs it. 3 to shoot here for Jackson. You bet.
this opening stanza. You see the SMU scoring deficit in another giveaway. Jackson gets high and gets it.
Coach Patches tell him to slow it down and run something. Let's see if they try to get Joe Jackson a ball here or try to get the ball inside the shack.
Look inside. Johnson finding Jackson. Deep three, Nick Russell. All fired and pinball to Jackson.
Good possession there by Memphis. Again, see, that's what happens when you shoot lane at Temple a couple years ago with Scotty Reynolds' senior year. So that'll be an interesting matchup. Big 5 games are always tough.
On more. 8 fouls on SMU, 7 on Memphis. But Memphis running out of time, facing a huge deficit. Jackson cuts to the cup.
They want to.
Nick Moore's headed to the table, ready to sub back in. Jackson on high.
To Blair on the second effort. He's a big fella coming of age, throwing his body around in there, and he's very happy that Shaq Goodwin's on the bench. He said, I'm going to take advantage of this. Open lanes to the rim. Neat shot for Jackson on the fall away for Andrew Wiggins and number 6 Kansas to take on number 25 Texas. Then at 6:30, Clash the Carrier Dome, CJ Fair in Syracuse, Jabari Parker and Duke. Saturday Showcase brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Saturday Prime Time presented by DirecTV. Both games on ESPN and live on Watch ESPN. Major conference doubleheader coming your way. See if Syracuse can hold serve. We're talking about that game being so big they might move the court. Jackson 2 more and he is officially on track. For 2 for Sykes.
But a bad job by Memphis. Josh Pastner wanted them in their 2-2-1 pressure and they ran back with their heads down and really never got set in any defense and allowed UCF's best player just go coast to coast without any resistance.
Jackson, bring it up.
Just so quick.
Again, Sykes undeterred to the rim. Well, you want to force him left, that's okay. He's got a little right-hand delivery at the rack as well. Little hip shake for Jackson. He is so smooth and splits the difference. 4-2.
Well, that was 1-on-5 because Memphis sent the house at him first on the screen at the top. The ball screen, he split the screen and then the help came, but he avoided all traffic and got to the rim.
Like a downhill skier with the Olympics coming up.
He is a pleasure to watch. Certainly, if he keeps playing at this pace and level, UCF will be a tough out in this building.
Jackson with 10 to shoot. Sneaks into the lane for the lay-in.
Out for the screen. They work the Hawkins finger roll is short. Jackson lines up the triple. Point shooter for USF. Only 30% from three-point territory, but that's the best they got. They were 0 for 2 in the first half from behind the stripe. Jackson will let fly just behind the arc, and he will answer the ball.
If teams go to an overload against it, they will go ahead and overload to that side as well.
Iverson cross court. Caught by Dixon Jr. Jackson straight on for a long one, and he drains the 3.
Well, just keep waiting.
You can play at a high tempo in a lot of transition basketball and take smart shots.
No question about it. You know, it's interesting. Coach Dickey said it at Media Day, you know, we're a lot better team when Tayshaun Thomas gets touches throughout the game. He's 3 for 3, but he's only taken 3 shots. There's a problem with that.
Goodwin, on the other hand, is 15. Jackson with a silky smooth touch. This very cushy arena, both a pro and a college arena, one of the very best. Jackson will scoop it up and in. Is he ever quick?
It's just blazing speed.
Minutes played, scoring, rebounding. He leads Houston in all those categories. Nichols blocked by Knowles, gets it back. Jackson taking a peek at the shot clock now. It's down to 10. He drives it again for 2 more, and right now they don't have a guard who can.
Franchise players who completely change the fortunes of a team. Doesn't mean they're not going to be good NBA players, but I don't think this draft is as deep as people think it is.
Now, these guys have been very impressive freshmen, but not necessarily all of them great pros right out of the gate. Jackson gets that one to go.
That is a nice and gain momentum. So that guy's played both sides of the ball.
Quick inbounds. Houston kind of fell asleep there, didn't they? And Thomas charging, but he can't convert. Now the fall away by Jackson, who's had a really steady game.
Make a basket, sprint back. How many times have they given up layups after scores?
You know, there'll be a lot of good to come out of this for Memphis, but you know that Coach Pastor is already assembling a video of plays just like that.
No question about it. And anybody scouting this team is going to say, hey, take it out of the net and press it up the floor quickly.
I think UConn did it to them enough to eke out a win here. Very well played game by the Huskies. Under 4 minutes. 4 on the shot clock, though. Jackson harassed, but knocks it down. Boy, what a tough shot.
Standing at the free throw line patiently that time. Joe Jackson deciding to stand behind him, basically giving a nice lane for the pass to him.
Jackson with the pump fake. Pull up by Joe Jackson in the middle of the back. Johnson and Joe Jackson up top. Shot clock down to 8. Nice anticipation. Steal by King. 3-on-2 for the Tigers. Joe Jackson rattles it down.
Battling underneath, and that's a good early sign for them if he's going to play that way.
Boy, Jaron Johnson tried to go up high for that ball, but couldn't get it over Daniels. Shabazz Napier is the leading rebounder for this team, over 6 a game, and the smallest guy on the floor.
Nice jumper today. Jackson, Goodwin, Dixon, Pelham, and Johnson on the floor here for Memphis. Jackson goes in strong for 2, and he can do that. Jackson in the lane, flips it up there, not there. Rebound is up and good. Jackson's sweater.
How do you stop it? What a player.
Memphis is asking the same question. 75-67. Jackson answers.
Take quick shots if they were open early in the possession, but they had to be open. Otherwise, they were going to wait. First bucket for Jackson.
By 1, Texas Southern. By 5 to Rutgers. I mean, they know how to stay in the game, as we mentioned, but they have trouble finishing. Rebounds against Louisville.
Reach around steal by Johnson. Cummings gets back, but Jackson scores.
30% by the way they went after with such confidence.
Dalton Pepper double team. 4-on-1.
And this is what I'm talking about.
As you said, you got to protect home court.
You really do. You got to win on your home court if your goal is to win the league championship. They're going to zone. They're going to make him shoot it over the top.
Jackson quiet so far. Switches hands. A beautiful left-handed layup. Memphis gives it right back to them. And still they can't convert. 3 cracks at it from point-blank range. Jackson high off the glass, and the lead grows to 7.
Florida State lead when he was a former tight end at Auburn.
Jackson.
Nice drive. Great drive.
Yep. Left Dick Vitale, Jeff Goodman. Here in Louisville, Kentucky. American Conference action. In a game in which Memphis led most of the way. Louisville didn't lead at all in the first half. Louisville right now 2-0 in the league. Memphis is 1-1. Count the basket. Score the basket. I love when you do that.
I'm trying to show you I can do a little math.
You are.
So I know you were actually.
Jackson knocks it back down to a 2-point game.
Mr. Walton, he had a pretty good NCAA final game against Memphis.
He missed a shot.
He missed a shot. How did the redhead miss a shot?
He made 21 and he missed one.
I know, really. Should have benched him. If he was in the Westwood, should have put him on the sideline.
Boy, Van Treese doing a good job trying to stay with Jackson after he got switched on to him. And Memphis struggling to score in recent minutes. Not anymore.
What a great try.
Final minute of regulation to Memphis with the ball and the lead.
And they're going to really be patient right here and take a lot of time off that clock. Luga's going to hope for a stop right here. They're going to get the ball back.
Jackson gets inside.
Justin Jackson goes with the left hand, won't fall for him. And the rebound of Crawford. They really like to push, but Cincinnati is equally good at getting back on defense. Jackson, nice drive. When both failed on point-blank attempts. Jackson backing in, gets in the lane, good block by Nichols. Here comes Memphis on the run. Jackson got it. Crawford to steal by Shaq Thomas. And taken right back. Ragtag basketball. Jackson ahead of the pack.
When you're playing guys bearing down on you towards the basket in a fast break situation, it's tough.
Joe Johnson. Jump shot. Jermaine Lawrence has 4. Joe Johnson, the scoring point guard for the Tigers. Boy, is he a good one. Gets a 20-footer from the baseline and knocks it down. Justin Jackson wheels to the baseline, missed the shot, kept alive, but recovered by Joe Jackson. Jackson on the run, left-handed scoop shot, and he made it.
Game for Victor Rudd, the 6'9" senior from Los Angeles.
Rudd, the last 5 games, has averaged 19 points per game. He is the go-to guy for South Florida.
7th in the conference in scoring. Memphis coming in, winners of 8 of their last 9. Jackson for 3 on his first shot.
Neither of these teams
with 5 to shoot. Aline around and out. Tantalizingly close. Here's Jackson. A blur to the basket.
So fast. In the
with Memphis's players gaining a little bit of foul trouble in the first half. Allen converts the 3-point play.
Sports Center, top 10, right.
Slam of his own for John Agbunu.
You don't have to run much for him either. When he plays like that above the rim.
Nice touch along.
Yeah, Memphis will turn turnovers that are in play into points in between 3 and 4 seconds. I timed them in practice yesterday. They're one of the fastest teams in the country at turning turnovers into points. Jackson from 3.
Transition, and Jackson State gets back defensively. But they left Crawford open. They already hit 2 in this first half stretch. They'll give Jackson space, and he buries the 3rd Memphis 3 of the game. Got Goodwin and King on the floor together, plus 3 guards. That's a 3 from Jackson. Good effort by Jaron Johnson to come up with that offensive rebound. Jackson will try again, and this time he'll connect for his second.
Did he not 1-6 all time against Memphis as Southeast turns it over. Joe Jackson behind the defense will lay it in.
As freshman, you get to work with him for 4 years, but for the most part, you're going to pick up one after he's got a year or 2 of experience under his belt.
7 turnovers now against the Red Hawks. Here's a stat that Josh Basker has to be gleaming about, Hank, as Joe Jackson is the a big first half for that tandem. 34-30. Here's Stone for 3. Johnson the rebound as we approach a minute to go. Joe Jackson.
First side of that's probably why he missed it. Good player, but sometimes you miss those lefties.
Nutt, who committed that foul, actually 3 now on Lucas Nutt. So 3 on Nino Johnson, 3 on Nutt, 2 each on Bradley and Stone as they start to mount for Southeast Missouri. They get right back in action Monday night against IUPUI or Cape Girardeau. They do turn them over, though. Joe Jackson lays it up.
The jumper, left it short. Johnson, an athlete, good defender.
And Wilbekin's pass taken away. Numbers for Memphis. 4-on-1. Jackson slams it.
Tremendous job with us.
Come the Tigers back within 4. They've made their last 6 shots. They were down by double digits for much of the half.
Oh, zone right now.
Yep.
On a loose zone.
Well, we have seen Billy Donovan use both a 2-3 and more recently a 1-3-1 with great success.
That 1-3-1 was so effective against Kansas.
Jackson.
It turned out to be benign. No chemo, no radiation needed. They got it out. That's all they needed to do. He's sitting right there on the bench. Essentially a month after having surgery like that, he's doing great.
Wow. Great story. Great news.
Early detection.
Yep.
Early detection.
Yeah, Dicker Phelps talked about it a lot. He's beaten cancer twice.
Yep.
Jackson with a floater.
He's got to go 4-1. 4 guys on the outside and 1 guy on the inside. Shot given, slider, post inside.
Jackson jump stop, tough shot. Another 1-1.
It's amazing. Last year, same bunch of kids were 0-6 in games, 6 points and less.
Jackson blows by Wilbekin and makes it a 2-point game.
Tempo, because they've executed on the offensive end without turning the basketball over. They've been very solid on defense, limiting Memphis to 1 shot.
2 points, 3 rebounds now for James White. Jackson for 3, and we're tied. Fans on their feet. Memphis looking to make it 6 straight wins and a 7-1 record as they get ready to head to Madison Square Garden Tuesday night for the Jimmy V Classic, where they'll take on the Florida Gators. Three on the shot clock now. Jackson forced to take the 3, and he's got it.
We talked about tough shot by Higgins in the paint, created some separation with a little bump on Jackson.
15 for Higgins. He and Neighbor combined for 30 of 53 points for the Trojans. Arkansas Little Rock allows 78 as Joe Jackson gets in for the layup. They allow
And if we do, we'll compete a lot harder. Smart, blocked by Crawford. They built a wall, a good white wall that keeps Smart from getting in the lane. And playing up to what many people had as the expectations of the #1 player in the country. Run out after the miss. Jackson with the layup. Crawford off the baseline screen. Jackson over 14.
The goal, then he passed up the shot, and Hickey bails him out.
See that shot? I like that shot much better for Anthony Hickey. Gets a little shot fake and gets that elbow area. That's a good offensive possession there for LSU.
He's got 17. We're tied again. Jackson faked Hickey off his feet. Got some help from Coleman, and this one might live up to that one in terms of drama. 2-point game, 3:20 left.
I think it's important both teams look to go inside. Paint touches here down the stretch.
Nichols has been the best scoring threat inside for Memphis tonight, and Joe Jackson 5 for 5 from the floor for Goodwin. The double team, the steal. Johnson gives to Jackson. Loss. Poked away by Johnson, and look at him get up.
And it's been a fight. It's a fight. And he's got to be able to watch it and know that Nichols is behind him here on this pressure.
Bisping has 7 rebounds.
His guards have actually gotten into the lane. Memphis guards have gotten into the lane. But Memphis has those backstops. They have those post players that have been able to block shots and keep Siena from scoring at the bucket.
He blocked 6 of them. His 8th, and he set up Wolf. 5 seconds left in the half. Jackson for 3. Wright drives, gets it high off the glass. Rebound pulled down by Damian Wilson, and here comes Joe Jackson in transition. Hometown LSU team. He's from Baton Rouge. Poole just barely beating the shot clock, didn't get anywhere near the rim. LSU recruited guy. Jackson.
No, when he goes stomping and jumping up and down holding his flashcards, that's when it gets exciting.
Joe Jackson against Rillier. Tries to take him off the bounce to the cup, flips it up and eats. New Orleans. Some fried shrimp po' boys. Put on some weight that way. That'd be a good way to go. Joe Jackson off the turnover.
And how long will he sit with Oklahoma State up by 15?
I'm not sure that Memphis is going to do this through jump shots. I think they've got to get to the rim, get to the free throw line.
And there's Jackson on the drive. Joe Jackson
did such a nice job of angling him.
The lob, unable to finish, though, way above the rim was Brian Williams. Jackson in transition. He'll attack and roll it over the front of the only playing a few ranked opponents a season and some in the NCAA tournament because your conference schedule, as Johnson's able to finish inside.
Above his head. Very nice. You'll see a lot of calls early, especially this game being that Memphis hadn't played one. Hand checking. That was a prime example. They're just not going to allow it this year in college, which I love.
Jackson with the whole Johnson behind the defense. Lost control of the ball, but long range. Austin P, 3 of 11. So there's a decision on Markel Crawford to be made, part of the freshman class. Pookie Pat, we just showed you, he will be sitting out. Karan Iverson, another top recruit around the nation, is not playing tonight because he is suspended for this game. Double-double now for Jaron Johnson. Steal, Joe Jackson lays it in. Triggs working on Woodson. Wild shot, and Goodwin gets another rebound. Jackson, that is quick, folks.